Do your students know how to read but like struggle with these division or state level assessments that they take? Do they need test taking strategies? Let me show you what I did with my group on our quarter 3 division level assessment to get them to think and make test corrections and just practice test taking strategies. Also, I should say I used AI for this, so it didn't take forever. This kind of thing used to take forever. I'll show you how I used AI to help. So we use peer assessment in our division, but really I'm sure this looks like really anything that you would do with your division software-wise. The students take this online, but after the students have taken the test and it's closed and we can go back and review it, I make a printed copy of the test. So I'm just going to go ahead, turn to the first question. Now, I have 2 packets. This is just the printout of the test, a PDF, and this is my correction guide. This is what I made using AI. So I put in kind of what I wanted students to do with a fiction passage, and then AI laid it out a little prettier for me. And then I broke down question 1 and 2 on my own, and then asked AI to do the same for every question. So I only made 2. AI did the rest, and then I went through and I edited it. So first, let's just look at the questions. So question 1 here mirrors question 1 on the test. Now, I go through question 1 and 2 usually together with all students, and we go through, okay, let's underline tier 3 terms. And then I give them like an example of what a tier 3 term is, and then we annotate it. Then, okay, let's circle the tier 2 words. Now that we've underlined, circled, let's restate what this question is asking in your own words. This is something kids should be doing independently in their heads, but a lot of times they aren't. So this forces them to do that. Then when I flip the page, okay, now find where secrecy is shown in the text, because that's what the question is asking them. How does the author develop the theme of secrecy? Now I give them the hint. Look for dialogue or descriptions. Now, why it's good, not great, I would maybe even say, like, what paragraph numbers here, I would, like, scaffold it even further and say what paragraphs. Now, match the choices of the theme of secrecy connected here. I find once students break it down and do these steps, at least half the time they get the answer right the second time. Then we move to the second one. All right, tier 3 terms, tier 2 terms. Now, identify moments of government enforces rules or government control. Now, where do we see government enforcing rules, adding to the rules, and this idea? Then we go back to question 2, and we look for those 2 details. Students do this when I get the reports. We use peer assessment of which questions students missed. We do 1 and 2 together. Some classes we do 3 together to get them through the process, and then they go through and only do the ones they missed on the test. I have found that like the majority of my students that scored, say, a 50 on their test, when they went back through it with this, scored a 75. Roughly. That was kind of the average of growth, like 20 points growth for those students that are like in the 50% range, 25 points growth. And that's because these students can read. They can read the text. They can even probably like comprehend the story, the poem, the nonfiction. But what is getting them are the questions. They're racing through the questions and they're not systematically breaking apart like you would in math. So by breaking the questions apart and making them slow down and process, I can see that, okay, it's not that they don't understand the story. That's not what's tripping us up on these division assessments or state assessments. It's this. So if you want to bring test-taking strategies into your class from time to time, that's a way to do it. I will say the pitfalls of this is paper management. I've got kids with 2 different packets. It was a lot for some kids to do 2 different packets and then write their answer down like on a sheet of loose leaf or on one of those. It was a lot of copies. That was another downside. Some of the questions that AI came up with, I went through and I edited all of them, but there are a couple things I wish I had spent more time and edited a little bit further. Again, why I think this is a good but not great strategy, but I could see a teacher using this and refining it, making it their own, and even better than I did.